Do you know which group of people became America's first pilots to ever fly for the U.S. military during World War II? Despite diversity and limited opportunity, African Americans have always played a notable role in U.S. military history over the last 300 years. According to the Tuskegee Airmen National Museum, Tuskegee Airmen were denied military leadership roles and skill training because many whites believed that blacks lacked intelligence, skill, courage, and patriotism. Instead, they were dedicated, determined young men who enlisted to become America's first black military airmen. From 1942 through 1946, nearly 1,000 pilots graduated, receiving their wings in assignment. Now, although this wasn't an easy journey, the black airmen subsequently fought two archetypes of wars. One, of course, being the more physical ventures of war, the other being more of an eternal battle, as they are fighting within themselves to maintain professionalism due to the unequivocal amounts of racism happening at this time. Hello everyone, I'm Raven Turner, and today I will discuss with you a brief history of the Tuskegee Airmen, segregation of the Tuskegee Airmen, and achievements affiliated with the praiseworthy record of the Tuskegee Airmen. To start, I will first briefly discuss the history of the Tuskegee Airmen. Now called Tuskegee University, the Tuskegee Institute was founded in 1881 as a school for training black teachers. I received this information from the Tuskegee Airmen National Historical Museum. In its first 5 decades, the school employed and produced leading black scientists and thinkers. The school secured federal funding under their civilian pilot training program in response to the war happening in Europe. The school also leased an airship, acquired multiple planes, and even hired its own instructor pilots to train men as aviators for potential military service. Moving forward, the Tuskegee Airmen formed roots near Champaign, Illinois. The U.S. military was still completely segregated during this time, which caused an uproar in civil rights organizations and black newspapers. These revolts pressured governments to extend the opportunity to black aviators as well. As a result, the 99th Pursuit Squadron was formally constituted and became not only the first black Tuskegee Airmen unit, but it was the first black flying unit of any kind in American military history. The members began their training in a field near central Illinois. By the end of that year, the squadron had relocated to Tuskegee, Alabama. While there were originally several different squadrons and groups with connections to training facilities in Tuskegee, they collectively made up the 332nd Fighter Group and Bomber Unit as well. The Tuskegee Airmen accepted the challenge and became extraordinary in their fields of practice while suppressing their frustration brought on by racism and bigotry. The National Park Service website says that the highly trained military officers were treated as trainees and denied access to the Base Officers Club, contradictory to Army regulations. There were heated altercations on home bases that caused the Tuskegee Airmen to be transferred to other fields separate of their white counterparts. Opportunities for advancement and promotion were limited, and this affected morale. Nonetheless, black airmen continued to perform superbly. Many white units were undermanned who needed qualified people, but were unable to obtain experienced black airmen due to the segregation policies. In response, an executive order declared equality treatment throughout the armed forces. This was the first of many steps towards racial integration in the United States of America. The Tuskegee Airmen National Historic Site in Moulton Field in Tuskegee, Alabama, set out to commemorate and interpret the heroic actions of the Tuskegee Airmen during World War II. The Tuskegee Airmen built an exemplary record in their bomber escort missions. The Tuskegee Airmen flew these important missions and racked up an admirable number of hits that came from every section of the country in large numbers. Out of all of their missions on a 6-year span, only 46 bombers were killed. The Tuskegee Airmen received recognition for their outstanding jobs and were given more opportunity. Certain jobs, even in the strangest of places, were offered to black servicemen. Some Tuskegee Airmen went on to direct research initiatives. In 2007, the Tuskegee Airmen were awarded the Congressional Gold Medal. The Airmen received the Civilian Award bestowed by the United States Congress for their unique military record. Their award paved the way for other public figures as well. In conclusion, Tuskegee Airmen refers to all who were involved in the so-called Tuskegee experiment, the Army Air Corps program to train African Americans to fly and maintain combat aircraft. The Tuskegee Airmen included pilots, navigators, bombarders, maintenance and support staff, instructors, and all personnel who kept the planes in the air. Tuskegee Airmen overcame segregation and prejudice to become one of the most highly respected fighter groups of World War II. They proved conclusively that African Americans could fly and maintain sophisticated aircraft, combat aircraft. The Tuskegee Airmen achievement, together with the men and women who supported them, paved the way for full integration of the U.S. military. Thank you.